The Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network reports that 44% of sexual assault victims are under the age of 18. About 80% of sexual assault victims are under the age of 30. About every 2 minutes, someone new is being sexually assaulted. And about 2/3 of sexual assault victims already know their attacker. You have to ask yourself, why is this happening? It happened to someone I know. Well, did you ever think about it's how the image and portrayal of the female body has changed? The female body used to be something that was considered beautiful, something that was considered cherished and loved, something that was desired. Now, we may say it's still desired, but not in the same way. Today, the female body is used as a form of pleasure and a form of entertainment. It's not used as something that's cherished. Did you ever think that the media could be partly responsible? We see today, there's so many commercials, TV shows, movies, with half-naked women wearing 7 pounds of makeup, who are usually doing something that implies a sexual activity. And it's all to attract attention, and it's all to gain views. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines sexual assault as illegal sexual contact that usually is forced upon a person who did not give consent, or it's inflicted upon a person who is unable to give consent. A lot of people commit sexual crimes for a number of reasons we don't even consider. Does that person have a mental illness? Was that person taught what sexual assault is? Or were they sexually assaulted as a kid? These are things we all need to think about. And we must also ask ourselves, how can we fix the problem? There are a number of ways we can go about this. First of all, we have to spread awareness. We have to get it out there that there are more people that support the issue than it looks like. Most people say that they're only one person, and so that their opinion doesn't matter and their voice isn't heard. But if we could get all of those people that think they're ignored and think they aren't heard to stand up together, we'd have a much bigger voice. We'd have a much bigger stand on the issue, and we could bring in a lot more support. Another thing is, in our country, we can actually do something about the problem. There are so many other countries where the same thing is happening to those women, and they don't have power to do anything about it because of their form of government. But since we have the freedom to speak out, and we have the freedom to start an organization and to fund an issue, then we should do it. Another thing we could do is help those that have been sexually assaulted. We can't leave them hanging. Most of these women and men who get sexually assaulted are damaged for the rest of their life. But it doesn't mean their life is over, and they need to know that. There needs to be more ways to help women get past what they went through. Also, we need to help those who may have sexually assaulted someone. You know, there's not always a simple reason why it happened. And we need to think about their side too, and how we can prevent people with certain mental illnesses and certain views and morals keep from causing the issue. Imagine you're sitting in high school and you're applying for colleges. You have a friend named Lisa in the top of her class who's applying to all these big schools. One day you notice she's acting a little bit differently than normal anyways. Usually she's smiling, talking to a lot of people, jumping around tables at lunch, making A's on all of her assignments. But then you notice she's quiet, reserved. She's sitting in the corner and doesn't want to speak to anyone. A few days later, you notice she's crying. A few days later, she's not there. The next day, you find out that she committed suicide. You also find out that she committed suicide because she was raped. Now, we don't think Oh, wow, I didn't know. But you never asked her what's wrong. So now you blame yourself. You think you could have done something about it. Well, instead of fixing the problem, you just left her hanging. And that's the problem with most of us. Most of us don't think to ask somebody what's wrong, and you never know what they could have been through. Sexual assault victims have some of the hardest times getting through what they went through viewing their bodies the same again. They don't see themselves as leaders anymore. Today, women have a really hard problem getting into leadership positions, feeling powerful, because men don't let us. Well, sexual assault isn't helping. Sexual assault defeats a woman, makes her feel powerless, because in that moment that it's happening, she is powerless. But if we could get the support of each individual that thinks their voice isn't heard, including men, maybe we could fix the problem, and maybe women could feel a little bit more confident about themselves. Regardless, sexual assault is an issue that's bigger than it used to be. Today, it's mostly caused by how we view the female body. It's no longer respected. So let's get together, because a woman should have the right to her body.